So good morning class. Today we are going to study about non-chronological report. So does anyone know what a non-chronological report is? So what is a non-chronological report? A non-chronological report is a non-fiction text which gives information on a particular subject. It is sometimes called a non-chronological report as it gives information without referring to the order in which things happen. So it means that the information is not in order. It is useful for studying things we don't know a lot about. It is written in paragraphs. It contains an introduction, main body, and final paragraph. Report contains specific features. So, what do you think the features are? Look at the following example of a non-chronological report. In your groups, do you think you know what the features used might be? Try to identify them. So, what are the features? We have the introduction, subheadings, main information, pictures, and present tense. So here is a sample video for you.
The green sea turtle, Chelonia mitis, is a large sea turtle of the family Chelonidae. It's found in the tropical and subtropical seas around the world, with two distinct and largely isolated populations in the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. Looking at these turtles, you might notice that green sea turtles aren't actually very green. The green in their name comes from the color of the fat below their shell. A bit morbid to think of once you realize that they probably found this out while eating it, but such as it is. Like all sea turtles, the green sea turtle nests on beaches. It digs a small hole with its hind fins, which it fills with eggs and then covers again with sand. After a period, the eggs hatch, and in the morning sun, the hatchlings make their way to the water. Unlike other sea turtles, the green sea turtle is largely herbivorous, feeding on seagrasses. When they are juveniles, they live in the open sea, feeding on small fish and other similarly sized prey. As they mature, they move increasingly towards the shore, where seagrass meadows can be found. Adult turtles will grow up to 1.5 meters, 5 feet in length, with an average weight between 240 and 420 pounds. They are fairly endangered, like many of the ocean sea turtles. They are often poached for their meat and skin, and their fat and cartilage are oft sought as ingredients in turtle soup. They are caught in nets on accident, which can be lethal when the nets lack turtle excluder devices. Habitat destruction has greatly affected their nesting as well. Sea turtles again only nest on beaches, and usually on very set beaches at that. The green sea turtle's nesting locations are particularly very threatened due to being very high activity beaches, and high intensity lights at night can often distract their young, leading them into roads and towns in their confusion. I actually saw green sea turtles in the wild when I was in Hawaii. I dove with a few, and saw a few when I was on shore eating. Here's some pictures I took.
So now let's see the information and the layout of the non-chronological report that we have just watched. So this one is all about the green turtles. So let's begin with the title. So this one is called the title or heading, and it should be written in capital letters. Each word, the first letter, should start with a capital letter, and the title should be an eye-catching title. For example, facts about green turtles. So again, this part is called the title. The next one is the introduction. So in the introduction, we have to mention general facts about the animal or the subject that we are talking about, like kinds or species, biggest or smallest mammal or reptile, and the lifespan, which means how many years they could live. For example, green turtles are reptiles. The lifespan for green turtles is currently unknown, but thought to be at least 60 to 70 years. So again, this is an example of an introduction. And then we move on to the subtitles. So this one is an example of a subtitle. And subtitles should be written in capital letters, same like our title. So here we have habitat and diet. In this subtitle, this is about the place where the animals live in and their food. For example, green turtles live mainly in tropical seas where the water is warm. Green turtle eats seagrass, algae, jellyfish, and the fruits of mangrove trees. So again, in this subtitle, which is the habitat and diet, here the information should be about the place where the animals live in and their food. Then we have the appearance. So this is another subtitle in which the information is anything concerning the body, color, weight, and body parts of the animal. For example, the green turtle has 4 flippers. It has a hard shell and scales. They are a greenish color. So again, in the appearance, it is anything concerning the body, color, weight, and body parts of the animal. For reproduction, the information includes whether the animal lays eggs or gives birth. Anything about their babies is included in the reproduction. For example, the female green turtle lays between 60 and 150 eggs on the beach. She buries them in the sand to protect them. So this is an example of reproduction. And finally, we have interesting facts, which is an extra information. In this part, the information is something special about the animals that most people don't know. For example, the male green turtle never comes onto the land. So this is something special about the green turtles, that the male green turtle never comes onto the land. So this is the layout of the non-chronological report. So remember, non-chronological report, it has a heading or title that says what the report is about. It has used subheadings to say what each paragraph is about. It has information in paragraphs that match the subheadings. It has subheading that stand out by underlining them or using bold type. And lastly, it has used full stops and capital letters.